Hi, good morning. We've got 11 people coming on now. I'm just waiting for more people to come on. We're expecting load shedding at 12 o'clock, so I don't have that much time. 38 people now. 46, thank you. Hi, Bradley. Thanks for coming on. We've got more than 50 people now. There's quite a few things that I want to discuss with you, and I think it's better that I do it live. 66, increasing nicely. Hi, Jasmine. Shelly, Vanessa, hi. Hi, Russell. Asogaran, Mark, Dylan. We've got 71 people now. Thank you all for coming on. I hope Eskom plays with us, and luckily at the moment I'm on a laptop, so I'm on battery, but the internet can be backed up later, so we hope that we can carry on doing a live stream. There's quite a few things that I do want to discuss with you with regards to the tour, what's happening in the next week, especially those of you that have attended my meetings. There we have 92 people now. Hi, Sandy. Nice seeing you again today. Favzia, Gerda, Brian, the Fritzies, Andre, Vanessa, Michael, Bridget. Hi, good morning. Well, it's heading towards afternoon. At this stage, we've got about 100 people online now. Hi, Beta. Thanks for coming online. Cape Town local. Well, I'll actually be. Hi, Fiona, CJ. I'm going to be, for those of you that don't know, I'll be in Mossel Bay. I'll arrive there on the 11th. The 12th, there'll be a meeting there that's been arranged by the community in Mossel Bay. We have over 100 people now. Hi, Aniki. If you have any specific questions, you can ask me. I'll monitor the comments. But one of the main things I want to talk about is this next week. Yesterday, I had the first, what we call follow-up meetings on the 00 days meetings. And in my meetings, I cover many things that's happening in the world and what's happening to us in South Africa right now based on world history and how world history ties in with the South African situation. And I've asked many of you to actually go and do your own research and then find your own truth. And we're having follow-up meetings. We had one yesterday. Most of the people in that follow-up meeting came to meetings in the first and second week that we were up in Gauteng. We've been here now for more than a month. There's about 114 people now. JL, Esther, Aniki. I will be in Cape Town. I might actually be in Cape Town before we go to Mossel Bay Beta. So we're still deciding on that. But my last day here will be next week, Saturday. So next week, Saturday, I'm having my last meeting with Antoinette. She might still come online. And she's organized the people coming to that meeting. I have no idea who's going to be there. So I will just be actually going to the meeting with the people, and then we will head down to Cape Town straight from there. There's many reasons for this, and I don't have time specifically to explain that now, but do you have any update on Rhino's court case? We will only know, Bruce, once the judge actually gives judgment. So we have no idea when that will happen. We believe it will be in this week. This is what Rhino is hoping for. And when that happens, I will bring you a live stream with Rhino to actually explain what the judgment means in detail. So besides me giving you detail, you'll get it from the man himself. And then you'll get a very good idea of where we stand with regards to the lockdown regulations. Remember, a lot of people feel that the current lockdown regulations, that they can live with that fine. Many people were working during level 5 of lockdown. but there's millions of people still without any income. A lot of people forget this. And there's many industries that's been hard hit. And the video I put out this morning on the World Health Organization, where Tedros, who's a complete idiot, actually says that we don't need stadiums at this time. We don't need it. It doesn't have to be part of society. Hi there, Nick. I haven't really gotten into my full discussion yet. Any meetings in Pretoria before you go to the Cape? Well, we are having meetings here in Gauteng. We will be having meetings at our venue. My number is 067 607 6428. I'll also put it in the comments here. And you can send me a WhatsApp message to a meeting. There will be a double O Days meeting on Wednesday. But today there's a follow-up meeting. Thursday and Friday are follow-up meetings on past double O Days meetings, meaning there's more people coming that want to do follow-up meetings. In other words, they're interested in actually becoming a part of the solution. And that's not going to be for everybody. But from Saturday, we will be going back to Cape Town. I'm not going to say exactly where we're going. In fact, the people that we're going to won't even know when we arrive there. So they've got accommodation ready for us, and we will just arrive. And there are reasons why we do it this way. Hi, Rihanna. Hi, Sandy. We've had meetings in Pretoria already, and the meeting that we had on Saturday, it was absolutely huge. I don't want to say or declare the number. There was actually, the number of people that was actually there. If you hear something in the background, my kids are running around here. So I'm not in isolation. I have a family and I love them very much. So they're all over the place. I just came back from running around outside. Hi, Andrew. Hi, Annalise. Hi, Thijs. Lorraine. I see the news that Ramaphosa will win the battle. Going to be in control. Ramaphosa is the president of the country. He's not just going to vanish just like that. I mean, at this stage, he's fully in control, and a lot of people don't want to believe that. But he is the one that wants all these lockdown regulations, not Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma. This is Cyril that's behind everything, and some people don't understand this, don't want to understand this, but that is the truth. We're over 150 people now. Thank you for all for coming on board. Hi, Dylan. Hi, Tony. So, yes, I will be going down to Cape Town. Like I said, I've announced before the 12th, I will be in Mossel Bay. I'll actually arrive there on the 11th. I believe that it'll be myself and two other prominent people that'll be there and meet with a group of people. I'm not sure exactly who's arranging this, but the accommodation has been arranged and we will be there. I see my son just entered here with a huge tree. Interesting things happen when you homeschool your kids. Come, bring it here so I can show everyone. This just entered my house. This is when you have kids that don't have phones. They actually run. So my boys still don't have TV. So they are still used to survival, and they can survive out in the wild if they have to. Hey, Ian, JL, Cloud Sounds. Familiar with Russell J. Gould. There's so many people that want me to know about other people. I can't know everyone out there. So that doesn't ring a bell. Hi, there's Jan here. Hamburg, Duitsland. Hi, Jan. Buchholz. All the way from Hamburg, Germany. Michael, Lawson, Peter, Brian, Patricia. Okay, what is bad about the connection? Can you actually hear what I'm saying? Okay, there's my number to actually come to me evening at 5:30. We will send you the pin drop. So if you haven't been yet, it's not that far from Pretoria. So you can drive out from most of the areas in Gauteng. I've had people drive 6 hours from KZN to come to my meetings before. People have come from Benoni. People have come from Potchefstroom. So it depends on how much you actually want to attend. Hi, Stuart. How are you doing? Sound isn't good. Okay. How bad is the sound? Well, we have 156 people now. The buffering is bad. Okay, maybe we have a problem with the internet at this stage. Let me have a look quickly. Okay, I'm sorry about that. 20 seconds at a time, that's quite bad. I can't actually see it in the live stream. I actually just see the picture in front of me at this stage. So thank you for telling me. We are streaming from the staff Wi-Fi at the venue that we're at. And the last time I had the live stream with Rainer the Beer, we had similar problems. So it is a bit frustrating. I could perhaps connect onto my phone's Wi-Fi, but who knows how good that is going to be. Okay, is it better now? Okay, that's awesome. There's one thing I want to discuss with you today. Thank you very much, Sandy, Anton. If there's any other questions that I've missed, just let me know. The sound should be okay. My microphone is set fairly high. So that shouldn't be a problem. Move 1 Million Group, is it supported or backed by the founders of Gates Foundation and Trevor Noah's Foundation? I've had meetings with Jared Petzer a long time ago, and I asked him questions. I told him if I'm going to support anything or back anything, I made very clear what my requirements are. Firstly, that is not about one event. Secondly, is that it becomes a movement that unites other groups. Now, you can be the judge whether that has been the case or not. I'm not going to judge things like that. And, you should be able to ask Jared any of those questions specifically. I don't know of any foundations that's behind them. If that is the case, I would like to find out. If anyone has any evidence, please let me know. But as far as I know, Move 1 Million has raised their own funds to do what they're doing. So I'm not sure why they would actually be funded by Bill Gates or something like that. Hi, Keith. Nigel. How are you doing, Nigel? Bridget, I hear the sound is fine now. So it was probably just a streaming problem. Keith, I agree. Direct elections is very important at this stage. Remember, I started the direct elections group. And just to make clear, this is a concept that my wife came up with in 2017 that she said South Africa needs to follow. It's not a new thing. Direct elections is as old as direct elections. So it's been happening for centuries. However, in South Africa, it doesn't exist. And because it doesn't exist in South Africa, the concept needs to be built. And what happened was Lauren decided, and you can go to a YouTube channel, Lauren Evantia, if you want to, and go and listen to her videos on the Bill of Rights and also on the Constitution. She's focused on a solution for South Africa, and she actually speaks to the people in these follow-up meetings. And yesterday we had 16 people, and it was an excellent meeting. It was quite profound the way that she could make clear, the plan forward. And to clarify, it's not simple. You need to understand it in legal terms. And the concept of direct elections is what I'm trying to get people to think about, because most people don't even think about the fact that we don't elect our leaders, that we actually go and you vote for the president when you make your tick behind the ANC. That's not the case. Parliament elects the leaders within the country. So does the provincial parliament, and so does the local councils. Yes, we do need to move fast, Marianne, on waking people up. Well, it's not just about waking up, it's about information. So this is what I'm doing on the tour. I've seen over 500 people now. And this we could do in just over a month. And that is absolutely amazing that we could actually do that. That we could see over 5 people in these close meetings where I meet with all of them. Last Saturday's meeting was of a scale where it was not possible for me to speak in detail with everybody. And I don't want to mention how many people were there, but if I tell you now that they're talking about 300 people in Mossel Bay, I hope it's not that many, because I don't know how we're going to be able to address a crowd that size with the current regulations. It's going to be difficult. The direct elections bill proposed by Lakota for public comments. It's a lot to read and I don't understand it all. Maybe I will look at it at some stage, but what a lot of people will do now is they will jump on a direct elections bandwagon. And something I wanted to speak to you about now is, how do you know, we have over 200 people now, how do you know that somebody is on our side or against what we are doing? A lot of people will call for Thuli Madonsela, for instance, to be the new president, and will be very happy with that. Would it be a good decision if we don't put it to the test? How do we put these leaders to the test? There's a few things that you need to ask them. The first thing you need to ask them is, do you support comprehensive sexuality education in school, or CSE, which is a United Nations Agenda 2030 program, which means it's a part of their program to get the world in 2030 ready to implement their New World Order strategies and actually roll it out to where we have a one world government. And a part of that plan is to collapse all governments worldwide, to economically completely destroy the world, because we're sitting with something called money that's worth absolutely nothing. And then what you end up with, okay, I see the people we've got 222 people now. Thank you all for coming on. Hi, Screwball. Hi, Keith says, I must just address the 300 people. Well, that was a week ago. I don't know how big the crowd is going to be now. We will speak to whoever is there. I mean, I haven't, the government's not going to tell me how to do things. We need to speak to the people on the ground and give them truth. And then from there, they need to decide what they want to do and make their own decisions. You know, I believe in individual liberty, and that means not that you're a liberal, because I'm a conservative person at heart. I like to conserve things, but I believe that everyone should have the right to choose. So I don't believe that you should go and tell someone else how to live their life, unless they are damaging your ability to live your life or you're hurting somebody. So to me, it's a very, very simple thing. Hi, Nigel, Sandy Wills, Hetty, Magda. Hi, Magda. So to me, the important way that you know that someone is with the New World Order program is firstly comprehensive sexuality education. Another thing is like what the DA rolled out in the Western Cape is the Gazette, which is on the Transgender Act, LGBTI, where a boy can do athletics against a girl in school. And for school principals to have the power to literally discuss with your child sex changes and things like that without even telling you about it. So our rights as parents being taken away completely. So you need to test these future leaders on all of these concepts. The next thing you need to test them on is equality. If they speak about equality, okay, that is New World Order. Nothing can ever be equal. Everything in this world is created different. And this is what makes us unique. This is what makes us humans. And this whole notion and idea around equality is to make us the same. Make a baby the same as an adult. Make a male the same as a female. And I just can't stand for that. I'm sorry. People should have equal rights to do things, but we are not equal. I'm not the same as my wife. I'm not the same as my son or my daughter. I mean, it's absolute madness. Hi, Shane. Thanks for joining us. Okay, Keith, I understand why you're that upset. Well, we removed our kids out of school because of what's happening there already. And our kids were in a very conservative Afrikaans school, and we just couldn't keep them there anymore. It's actually shocking. The other thing is people speaking of the greater good of society, okay, the common good. And what that does is takes your individual right to make a choice away completely. So you won't be able to choose anything anymore. And how will that be enforced? Through monitoring. Our every move will be monitored, and you will see our government rolling this out post-haste. Any way and form of monitoring us with cameras, with apps, with all sorts of things will be implemented. And people that think that this is conspiracy theories, when you have the app, you can tell me about the conspiracy, because I've seen people that I know with the apps on their phones already in South Africa being used in businesses. Okay, so it's already happening. Just remember, because all governments need to fall away in future, you're going to have large corporations taking control. And this is why Bill Gates is now the spokesperson for this new order that they want to create, and why they're talking about this global reset. Been listening a while. Carry on the good work. God bless you. Every effort. Thank you, Miranda. Thank you very much for listening. Thanks to all of you that are listening to me. Something else I want to discuss. So I've mentioned now comprehensive sexuality education, the Transgender Bill or Act that the DA rolled out in the Western Cape. And a lot of the DA members that I knew said, I'm talking utter rubbish. And I said, well, your own bill gazetted for comment. So don't tell me that I'm spreading fake news when it's your own party that's come up with this rubbish, because you listen to New World Order agencies and they just implement all this nonsense, and you wanted to be the first to do that. So I'm not going to have my poor girl run against another boy in athletics that is confused at a very young age. It's not going to happen. Hi, Dane, Pete. Hi, Nigel. Words are used as weapons, and they use them to disarm us as a people and hoodwinked into making us believe that we understand it to mean, while they have a complete other narrative. Nigel, that is 100% correct. All of these things are very slowly brought into society. And this is why we've accepted these things. You know, many of these things have been in our schools for a very long time. Illegal lockdowns, all part of the New World Order. Dane, 100% correct. A lot of people still say this New World Order is a conspiracy theory because it's not an organization, it's an ideology. And in my meetings, I tell the people sitting there that you are the New World Order, because we've allowed that order to become a part of our lives for a very, very long time. Fazia says at the beginning of the year, they passed a bill that all homeschool syllabus must be approved by the department. You're 100% correct about that. And this is why, Lauren, as you know, my wife, she actually ran the hashtag Leave Our Kids Alone movement that got comprehensive sexuality education to not be compulsory anymore. Remember, they were going to discipline the teachers and even fire them if they didn't teach these perverted scripted lesson plans. But now they've made it voluntary. This isn't good enough. So hashtag Leave Our Kids Alone, if you haven't joined it, you can go and join the group, is now actually focused, and there's 138,000 people on that group, focus on the entire school system, and also focus now knowing that we need to change government. So because Lauren came up with the concept of direct elections for South Africa, and her organization is working on a blueprint for that system. So the IEC can't say that they couldn't come up with something, or that the government can't say, but there wasn't enough time. There will be something in their faces. And, you know, it might not be perfect, but there will be something, and then people can scrutinize it, and then we can come up with a proper system. Wolferberg, we're going to taste, we're going to see you soon. Very, very soon. Sooner than you think. Okay, remember Wolferberg, that's very close to my heart. I spent a year there at the Test Flight and Development Center. And yeah, it was one of the best times of my life. I actually really enjoyed it there. Shirley, passing East London. Okay, Shirley, we might be seeing you a lot sooner than you think. Hi, Conrad. The West Coast, we're going to do a tour on the West Coast specifically. We already have quite a number of meetings that have been pre-scheduled there. We haven't given dates for it, but it's arranged and accommodation is sorted. So people throughout the country at the moment, the people have funded us for another month. And as long as the people are funding us, we'll keep on doing this. and they're arranging accommodation for us. We just need to make sure that we get to the places that need us the most, and there's many things that we use to consider this. So we will get to all the provinces in the country, and if you're willing to host a meeting, we are going to be there. You don't have to worry about that. Okay, Thijs, we'll see you soon. Life orientation. Life orientation is a big problem. The reason why life orientation is a problem is because a child is being given more right than a parent. So from the age of 12, your child literally becomes an entity unto themselves. They can make medical decisions for themselves, and they can also literally decide to divorce their parents legally and leave them and go and stay with someone else. Another thing that's important for you to know is that under the age of 16, children, okay, my kids need to get out of the way so I can actually discuss this with you. My youngest daughter, I need to get her out of the room. Children under the age of 16 can engage in any sexual acts any way they want without your consent, without it being illegal, up to any age. So under the age of 16, in our constitution, there's nothing stopping kids from doing what they want. Okay, life orientation is a scam subject. It's 100% correct. It's actually taking your right as a parent away. So what UNESCO has done, and UNESCO is a subsidiary of the United Nations. UNESCO, they are actually based in the Department of Education's buildings in Pretoria. So how can a foreign entity be in our elected government's education department and tell us what to teach our kids? But this is what's happening. And this is why I say we don't have a government. What we actually have is just a bunch of puppets being pulled. And the strings are being pulled from various places. And one of the biggest strings that are pulled is the money string, of course. And these organizations fund the EFF, they fund the ANC, they fund the DA, they fund most of the parties that are influential in any case. Okay, deeply concerned citizen. I got the East London WhatsApp group going, but only got 7 members. Please join the hashtag East London Direct Elections group. Please join East London people. So the people, if any of you are from East London, please go and look for the East London Direct Elections group and then get onto the WhatsApp group. Okay, public schooling is indoctrination, and that's why the group hashtag Leave Our Kids Alone. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's already a massive group that's had huge success. That group actually had an awareness campaign on February the 13th, I believe it was. It was a Thursday. It was 3 o'clock in the afternoon during work hours against the government, and the government relented. So when we do things smartly, things can happen, but it cannot be violent. It cannot be marches or protests or anything like that. Awareness campaigns is a way to get other people to see what's happening. You're creating awareness for something. And you don't need to be raucous or cause havoc to actually do that. Today, Jean-Pierre Leroux, what is corruption? Our political system is corruption. The entire system, the entire governance system is corruption. But I want to get back to the points that actually speak to leaders that people might idolize and think might save the country, that are actually our enemy, unless we can change their minds. So if someone believes in the greater good of humanity, someone believes in equality of people, not equality of opportunity, etc., and if people believe in CSE or comprehensive sexuality education in school, as well as the transgender acts, those are only 4 different ways in which you can test whether someone is actually with the New World Order or not. So you should have equal rights to work in a position if you can do the job and many other things. But equality of people, I mean, a baby is not the same as an adult. I'm sorry. When a baby is born, they're vulnerable. They need to be taken care of. They should not be a sexual being that can be used. And this is where the perspective comes in, that people that are pedophiles, that is just another sexual preference. How can pedophilia just be another sexual preference? This is a narrative being driven in the world right now. And you will see how equality very quickly equates a baby to just another human that can be used in any kind of way. It's absolutely sick. Yeah, I'm going to be doing these live streams a lot more. We have over 250 people now. I really thank you for coming on at this time of day. What the live streams can do is it's more interactive with me because people can ask questions. If I miss your question, just put it in again. Thank you, Keith, for inviting more people on. It really helps for me to be able to engage with people. And there's another thing I want to, it does make my blood boil too. You know, at the moment, at least, Keith, the teachers themselves can choose whether they want to teach something or not. But what about those teachers that do choose to teach it? They actually believe that you as a parent don't have the right to stop it. This is the problem. Teachers have been empowered now under these new acts to be the parent. And in life orientation, the kids are being taught things that remove your role as a parent. And this is problematic and fully in line with what the New World Order is planning. I'm Dane. We are sick and tired of lockdown. It's an unnecessary lockdown. If you watch my video I put out earlier. Hi, Willem. How are you doing? Yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot more live streams. I think it'll make a big difference being able to interact with all of you. The lockdown is a problem. In my previous video I just did, please go and watch and share that video where Tedros is saying that we cannot open up until governments have control of us. Understand what that means. The people that tell me that I'm a conspiracy theorist, there aren't many, but they are here and there. I mean, they're the outsiders and they look like fools. I feel sorry for them because if they think that this is what is normal, we're going to have to save their bacon for them later if they actually believe in freedom and in liberty, the right that an individual has to choose. I agree, Hendo. The parents need to get involved in schoolwork. And I mean, I was guilty myself. Yeah, Sweden didn't have a lockdown. Netherlands had a limited lockdown. 100%, I agree with you. That was appropriate for disease. People need to be made aware, or not the disease, the virus. And we need to get more involved in our kids' schoolwork. What we should actually do is take their books, especially their life orientation books, and look at it. And the natural science book. Why do you want to teach someone about condoms in a life sciences book? Explain that to me. Why are you teaching people about sexual encounters in a life sciences book? I don't understand this. This is not necessary. It's definitely not necessary for a child in school, but this is part of the agenda. So if you go and read the Comprehensive Sexuality Education Technical Guide by UNESCO for 2030, you will always hear 2030 coming into the plans because that's a kickoff for the transition to this New World Order government. So there's 9 years to go. They can learn more from their friends and the internet. They can, 100%. But who gave them the means to do that? That's no excuse, I'm sorry. Oh, we have a troll. Yay. Our first troll. I'm sure the people will sort you out. Chop, chop. Yeah, 100%. There's many shadows out there, obviously. Many of them. We have 262 people on the stream. That's actually a lot of people for this time of morning. The lockdown won't actually end unless the courts end it, because the government and the plan from the World Health Organization, which comes from the United Nations, which comes from their puppet masters in the Council of the Committee of 300, those people have a plan for the world, and this is being implemented right now. So the conditions under which we live now is the new normal. What did Sir Ramaphosa say? you're going to have to get used to not hugging your family. I hug people at my meetings all the time. I don't care what Cyril says because he cannot write that into law. Another thing he cannot write into law is the fact that you're allowed to make a living. And this is where it's going to become bad. They know that people will rise up to try and make a living. There are no entertainers at this stage in the entertainment industry and all the support around that are allowed to work. How can you expect someone to just die because they can't generate an income and get no assistance? When you march to Ravenpenny, when you march to Parliament, if you hang in a petition, for instance, they see that as one submission. If you don't put 100,000 feet on the ground, they will not even flinch or take notice. If you put 100,000 feet on the ground, Parliament will take notice, government will take notice, and they might even act on that. So it's all about numbers. So when you see something in the news, don't think that that's going to make any difference to a politician because they see the country as having 58 million people. So if you come there with 5,000 or 10,000 people, it might seem like a lot. If you have, for instance, 50,000 people dispersed countrywide, the politicians will just shrug it off. 100,000 people is different. That's like a magic number. If you can put 100,000 people on the ground, any government will take notice. If you put 1 million people on the ground, the government will resign. I can guarantee you that now, without thinking twice. If anyone has any idea what 1 million people looks like, okay, you can fit 5,000 people on a rugby field. It's 5,000 square meters, and you have one person every square meter. So that's 5,000 people. Now imagine how many rugby fields of people that is when you actually put 1 million feet on the ground. It's a lot of people. Okay. It's 200 rugby fields filled with people. When that happens on the ground, the government will buckle and it'll be over. I'm not sure we have that kind of support at this stage at all. Indo says, constantly mobilize people, be proactive, can't afford to be fence sitters. 100% correct. We all need to keep on creating awareness. And I've said on #DirectElections, and I want you to go and join the group if you have not yet. That group is there for information as to support a specific idea that we directly elect our leaders. And we need to keep on creating awareness for this. And we do this in awareness campaigns where people go out, they put stickers on the back of their cars, they put stickers on their bumpers. It creates awareness for a concept, and it's working, people. Look what we've achieved in this time. We have literally forced people like Musi Memani and Herman Mashaba to come out and use the #DirectElections. There's no option anymore. It's just going mainstream, and they'll keep on doing that. And all it took is for one person to just start putting it out there. And it wasn't a difficult decision for me to make. I made one video where I said, I will spearhead this until it is done. But remember, there's a lot more that needs to happen in the meantime. But you can't be a fence sitter. You're 100% correct. You need to stand up. And we've got almost 300 people now. We need to stand up and go and show how we feel and what we support. There is no perfect political system. It doesn't exist. Winston Churchill famously said that democracy is the worst system out there except for the others. So what we need to do is get a better form of democracy because we don't have one. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Lorenza. Dane, hit the like button. I don't know how the algorithms work. I haven't asked people much to hit the like button. I normally don't think about that. Okay, we have a very interesting troll going on here. But, you know, the troll will feel very alone amongst everyone else. Shame. The best is to just ignore them. That's normally what I do. You know, the truth will always speak louder than anything else. And in the end, truth resonates with people. People tend to want to promote truth. People tend to want to show truth because it just resonates with our soul. It resonates with our heart. And it's very important that we speak truth. So be proactive. Do go out into your community. Speak to your neighbors and friends. Speak to your family. I mean, you don't have to do more than that. Some of you have gone out, gathered on weekends, on busy street intersections, gone in groups less than 20, which means you don't need to ask permission at all to gather. Under the Gatherings Act, you don't need to ask permission at all. You can just do it. And it's not illegal. And there's nothing our president can do because we're not in a state of emergency. So please, people, those of you that haven't, do go and organize in your communities. Don't ask, is there someone else here? You can put out a post on #DirectElections, for instance, and say, where are the people in this area? And the people will respond, and then you hook up with each other, and this is happening countrywide. I know Jeffreys Bay is extremely active. Plettermilk Bay, they're extremely active. Places where I've been, people have gone and activated themselves, and they are making a huge difference in their communities. And this is what we need right now. Firstly, information. Information. And with that knowledge, you can go out and then you can spread truth. And you must make it your own truth. Do your own research. Don't believe what I say. I always keep on saying that. Question everything. And go out there, find your own truth, and then run with whichever idea you believe is going to make a difference to the country. And if you think you have a better idea than someone else, run with it. Start a group, speak to people, and whatever is the best idea will get the most support. It is that simple. And I encourage anyone to do that. Okay, Maureen, thank you. Hendo, do your own due diligence. 100%, Hendo, I fully agree. People need to go and do some research, and it is a minefield out there. I believe in 5 levels of understanding. The first level, which is the level that we get from our parents when we're born, we have all our influences around us. And then we have the second level of influence where you start questioning those people in which you had a firm foundation with regards to your beliefs. And when you start questioning those people, it could be your parents, your teachers, and so on. This normally happens in your youth. Then you move on to level 3 sometimes, where you start questioning society. You start questioning government and all the people in authority that you were told to trust in. Because when you went to school, you were taught, just follow the law. Laws were all made to be broken, literally. This is what freedom is. It's that liberty to break a law. And especially if that law is unjust, unfair, and if it's tyranny. And our government will try and pass laws that are tyrannical, and we can't allow this. Lars Solis says, don't think what can I do, think what else can I do, do everything that comes to mind because it is doing something. If we all do everything we can, it will bring a tsunami of change. That is so important to understand. When a person starts to do something, a collective conscience starts to develop around that person and other people start to be influenced. This is just how the universe works. And this is not airy-fairy. We can prove it with evidence. It's happened with my meetings. The more people I met with, the more people wanted to attend my meetings without me speaking to them beforehand. This just naturally happens. It's a wonderful way that the universe works, and all things that are good will propagate in that way. So that's very, very important, yes. Nigel gives us an interesting story about a man that changed the political system without saying a word. I don't condone breaking the law. Laws, no, just understand one thing. If people make a law, okay, for instance, if the law is made that you're not allowed to leave your house without a mask and there's no threat at all, that is an unjust law. And that is why under a judicial system, you can challenge those laws in court. And a judge can then find that that law is unconstitutional. So the Constitution is the highest law in the country, and the Constitution has to uphold the Bill of Rights. which is above the Constitution. So if you don't understand this, then you've been brainwashed, I'm afraid. So the laws of the country are supposed to protect the Constitution. Most of those laws have not been challenged against our Constitution or the Bill of Rights. And this is what Reino de Beer is doing in court right now. He's challenging not only the laws of the country, but he's also challenging regulations, which are not laws. They're regulations under the Disaster Management Act. And you have your full right to do that. If you're not willing to do that and you have a problem with that, I'm not saying go and kill somebody. Breaking a law can actually be to save the country or save the government or save the people. I hope you can understand that. No teacher is a parent to my child. Andre says, I 100% agree with you. They can't be a parent to your child. It's not possible. And they never should be. Hi, Sid, how are you doing? Synocracy is a form of government of people working together. Acting together is in The virus is not on beach sand, it's in the seawater. In the MAC, the Ministerial Advisory Committee said there's zero use lockdown now when so many people have contracted the virus. And I have to agree with them fully. In fact, those are people that have been tested to have the virus. When we got the first case in Cape Town, I can tell you now, we already had hundreds of thousands of people that have contracted the virus. And most of them, nothing happened to them. And this is why we were able to actually see that this is not as dangerous as people made it out to be. We found out when we started testing that lots of people had contracted the virus or tested positive for the virus. How accurate the test is, I have no idea. I don't have any evidence for that. There's lots of people having lots of theories. Keith, there's a sign behind you saying direct elections, let it sink in subliminally. Keith, I move from place to place. That's a good suggestion. I'll think about that. I haven't got a direct elections t-shirt yet. There's one that fits my wife that was donated to us. Thank you very much, Celeste, for that. So, yes, it's something I can think about. Hi, Carol. How are you doing? Why do we still have a state of disaster when we're not in a war situation? Well, a state of disaster, Carol, is actually for a natural disaster, like a flood or a fire or something like what happened in Knysna. We've had many floods that have damaged many areas. And then the military is supposed to come in and help remove trees, clean up the areas so that people can carry on with their life. But here, our government has used the Disaster Management Act to actually implement what they wanted during a state of emergency and have the police as well as the military actually watch the people of the country, police the people of the country. And that is unconstitutional. It is wrong. End of story. I mean, there's no debate there. Let's boost our immune systems. Get a banner to put up behind you better. Thank you for that. I haven't even had time to go to a printing shop and think about something like that, but that's a good suggestion. If someone else can help me with that, that'll actually be great. Hendo, PSYOP's agenda, fear porn from government globally, all about power and control, not the virus. That's 100% correct. And Tedros, if you go watch my previous video, which I believe is taking off right now, you will see that Tedros has actually said that governments need control of the people. It's all about people control. I'm going to have to... Court results, Keith, it's not out yet. I'll be the first to let you know when it's out. I will be interviewing Reino live. And hopefully we'll have better internet then with regards to the judgment. But the judge said he wasn't going to rush it. State of disaster exists to allow access to the Disaster Management Fund. Why is no one talking about the Disaster Management Fund? Just remember that the Reino has actually in his papers taken this to the court to declare the entire Disaster Management Act, okay, unconstitutional. So this is before the court right now, and Judge Norman Davis will hand down his decision, hopefully this week on that. Hi, Thijs. Thanks for the live stream. Unfortunately, I have to run now. Well, I also have to run. We are getting load shedding at 12 o'clock. I haven't done videos on Eskom yet, but I will, because I have obviously a lot to say, because I've been involved in Eskom for 2 decades. So I have a lot to say to all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have 281 people in the live stream in the morning. That's a lot of people. Thank you so much for coming on. Please share the video after we've finished. Just one last thing that I want to ask you. Please do random acts of kindness in your community. Get to know your neighbors. Know who they are right now. If you come to the follow-up meetings, please let me put in my number again so that you can send me a WhatsApp, and then I can communicate with you. That is not just my WhatsApp number. You can actually call me on that number, but people have been very responsible in not going and just calling me at any time of the day. If I'm not answering immediately, I will answer soon. Thank you so much. Hi, Sid. I hope to see you soon. Ronel, I heard that people can be monitored wherever you go, but if you go shopping, leave my phone. If you leave your phone at home, Ronel, at the moment, you can't be monitored. Not until there's a tracking device on your body, and that's not there at this stage. And I'll speak to you about that at detail in my meetings. Thank you very much. We're going to come to your town. It's going to take time, but we're going to come there, and we will speak to you. Just remember that. Thank you very much. Stay safe, everybody. And please share this video. Look at the previous video I put out on the World Health Organization and Tedros that wants to control us. Please have a look at that and share that video. It's very important that you see what they are up to. Okay. Thank you very much, Keith, Derek, Marlene, Anastasia. Okay, I'm going to be ending the stream now. Have a nice day. We're having a meeting later this evening, and I really look forward to seeing all the people there. There's 37 people confirmed for that meeting, so it's a large group again. Till later.